A FAM production. Furniture and mattress. FAM.news.
Hello, friends. This is Adrienne, voice of many of the audio stories over on the FAM and producer of the Dos Marcos Show. What an amazing 2021 the Dos Marcos Show has had. In case you're not keeping count, we have produced over 45 original episodes. We started streaming in 6 new countries, and we interviewed industry-leading experts in just about every area. And best of all, we did it all alongside of you, our colleagues, our mentors, and most especially our friends. As we look to the last 2 weeks of 2021, we wanted to bring you a very special 2-part collection of the best of Dos Marcos. We're going to recap some of the best episodes and some of the funniest moments from the season of the show. Thanks for listening this year, and we look forward to all that 2022 has to offer.
Driven entrepreneurs, listen up. It's time to team up with Nationwide Marketing Group, North America's most successful network of independent retailers. You'll gain access to programs and services that level the playing field between you and the national chains. Industry-leading digital marketing, increased buying power, exclusive networking events, and of course, their awesome learning platform. Nationwide Marketing Group is the business partner that helps you get results and stay ahead of the competition. Take the first step today and visit nationwidegroup.org.
Do you want more sales in 3 easy clicks? Yeah, it starts right now at doorcounts.com. With a completely redesigned user interface, gathering data has never been easier. Click number 1, your salespeople connect with the customer as they walk through the door. Click 2 is the outcome. Click 3, key performance metrics. Right there on your phone from anywhere at any time. Now your salespeople can spend their time selling, and DoorCounts is going to gather the data you need to make your business better. Start right now at doorcounts.com.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
Welcome aboard. Here's your passport to a planet filled with the mattress industry's brightest minds and biggest ideas. Meet your guides.
I'm Mark Kinsley, President and CEO of Englander.
And I'm Mark Quinn, co-founder of Spink & Co. and VP of Sherwood Bedding.
Together, they are Dos Marcos. The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
Well, what we know for sure is that failure isn't an option, right? So you just can't lay down.
Well,
regardless
failing is okay. We've talked about failure, but you're saying if you fail, it's okay. You're just saying laying down and giving up is not an option.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. That's exactly what I'm saying. So yes, a fail is fine, but you can't just stay in bed under the covers and it's just going to require that tenacity and perseverance. This is going to be the year of perseverance, right? And there's a lot of people who have great years, Kinsley. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people listening to this are like, dude, we're good. I mean, we're in really good shape. And some that aren't. And so anyway, regardless of where you are on that, and mostly people outside of the mattress industry who haven't had as good a year in 2020, this is probably more relevant to them. But bottom line is, we always talk about transitions. There's a lot of opportunity that has presented itself because of the new world we're in. So anyway, there's a lot there. But so, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we talked about it. I've had some calls with people and there just seems to be this like haze. And so I'm glad we got to talk about it and just give an acknowledgement that if you're feeling what we've been talking about, you're not alone. Like there's a lot of people kind of wondering like what the hell is going to happen with this year. And the answer is we don't know, and it's okay not to know. But the other part of that is let's get our part of it right. And, it's going to require us to be as enthusiastic.
I love listening to you, Justin. So go back to that. Like, so the sleep category, when people bring them into the apartment, something that Kinsley and I say often is when it goes wrong, and we're actually talked about it yesterday, we're going to write an article about it. It usually goes wrong from the beginning, right? And so what do you think the critical piece is for your team when it comes to the mattress category and sleep as a solution? What do you think has to exist? Like, what do you think really, what is the one thing, if there is such a thing, what is the one thing that really needs to be present in order for you to feel good about that up, right? So when they leave your department, if we do this, and knowing you like I do, not all that great yet, but it's probably not even the sale. What is it that you really want to accomplish with that customer?
So two things. As far as what's necessary to have a team that can execute that, number one is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
What I've observed of most organizations is often there's no training at all. And if there is training, it's, hey, go shadow this other sales associate. They know how to sell. And usually they don't know how to sell. So our approach to training is very robust. And I have a big belief about training that you do not train until somebody gets it right. You train until they can't get it wrong. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And what you will create in that business owner, i.e. sales associate, is a level of confidence where it becomes subconscious. It just happens. It happens. It happens. But it does not happen sitting across from somebody in a training environment where you tell them one time what their needs analysis questions are, and you say, okay, great, I sign off that they've been trained on their bedding. It needs to be role play heavy, scrimmage heavy, do it again, do it again, do it again. And you need to be able to test out of that category, meaning test into the ability to sell that category. So confidence is number one for me. And I believe the only way that you achieve that is through training until you can't get it wrong. Secondly, we love to quote, I believe it's Dale Carnegie, that the person who dominates the conversation, the person who asks the questions dominates the conversation, or something of that nature, leads the conversation, doesn't dominate the conversation. But ultimately, questions are your key there to helping to take control of the moment and not just allow it to get wishy-washy. And so you ask great questions, as we've already kind of went through. And you have to be kind of assertive about that. You know, people, when you already put them in zero gravity, they instantly want to hop up. You have to tell them, hey, stay there. I'm going to lift your feet, followed by your head. Stay there until I tell you to get up. You'd be amazed at how many sales associates are just uncomfortable telling their customer to stay there. Customers aren't offended by that.
We have the privilege at Nationwide of getting to work with not only bedding retailers, furniture retailers. We work with appliance retailers. We work with the outdoor guys, connected service folks. We work with the folks in CE who are crazy progressive, always on the cutting edge. And I will say this with all due respect, but the furniture and bedding industry has been very traditional for a very long time. If you don't believe me, show up at Market, okay? Show up at Market, show up at CES. When you show up at Market, you still see those strange things called neckties. People still wear those. And like three-piece suits, and it's a very traditional space. What this storm has done to the coastline is it has forced us to allow a lot of those old school thinking to erode away. It's washed out to sea and it can't ever come back. And when you say things like podium, in the furniture bedding space, technology has lagged behind where it's been in other categories because we've stayed with our traditional methods. They work, they're not broken. Let's keep doing that. This has forced that innovation into this space at a very, very rapid pace. We've had evolution in the furniture and bedding space that's moved us years ahead, and it's done it in a matter of weeks because we had no choice. Sometimes great evolution comes from literally being back in the corner. And one of the things that Rob White, new member of our team here at Nationwide, marketing mind that I absolutely adore, he led his presentation on the shopper journey by saying change and evolution are optional because survival is not mandatory. And that's the decision that so many of our furniture and bedding dealers have faced through a pandemic, is that if you don't change and evolve to today's consumer, you might not survive. So we've seen the real heavyweight intellect of the furniture and bedding space at full display as they've moved into this evolutionary journey. They've begun to adopt technologies like Podium. They've begun to communicate in new ways. They've gotten away from needing to give you a piece of paper. Now we can send you a PDF. From needing to pick up the phone and talk to you. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anybody under the age of 40 that'll actually answer the phone. They'll text with you all day, but they won't answer the phone. So getting into those spaces, adopting those new technologies, providing a more efficient experience, and hey, pain sometimes happens. We've seen in the furniture space a lot of the progressive manufacturers, as we saw supply chain challenges, they cut their lines down. And they said, we're going to focus on the product that we know you need the most. And we're not going to focus as much on having the biggest selection, but we're going to try to be dependable on the SKUs that you really need. And I think what we've learned there is you may not actually have to have an assortment of 75 recliners on your showroom floor. There's a chance that you could be just as successful assorting 25.
Such a good reminder that open-ended questions are your superpower. If you can ask open-ended questions and really get to the spirit of what people are after, then, like you said, Eric Garcia is able to say, wait a minute, man, these ATVs are really loud and we go on certain paths and we're not going to see any monkeys. So if somebody's coming into your store, you got to understand what they're trying to see on this tour. You know, are they trying to see lower back pain alleviated? Well, what led to that lower back pain? Is it chronic? Is it something that is acute and they feel like it's going to go away in a relatively short amount of time? I mean, you really need to just care and ask open-ended questions. And we talked about this before, but one of them for me that I think is just great is the follow-up open-ended question, which is if somebody's like, yeah, I've got back pain, and then they're silent. You as a salesperson can say, well, what do you make of that? And when you use the two words, what and you get a response. There's a great book I read. I think it's called The Coaching Habit. And out of that book, the absolute piece of gold I got out of it was when you reframe your questions, you don't ask how, you don't ask why. When you say what and you can rephrase about any question to say what and you in it, you get responses because what is very specific and you makes it personal. It's not about some abstract concept that you have to come up with an answer for. So I love what Eric Garcia does. And whenever you see really amazing salespeople, they slow down, they take their time. They're not trying to shoehorn you into a process because, yeah, I'm sure that Eric has certain tours or other tour companies have like the process they want to take all the tourists through and get it done as fast as possible and make their money and get their tip and move on. But that's not what's going to create a remarkable experience, which is literally something that's worthy of telling to another human being, which is what we're doing right now.
No doubt. And Kinsley, let's put this through the filter of the mattress and furniture store, right? So here I am in Northwest Arkansas, about to get on a plane and go to Costa Rica. I know already before I ever get there that I'm going to find this guy. Because if he does something remarkable that all these people like, that's who I want to do business with, right? And so the point here, going back to some companies, if you're listening to this, your company may not be that cool with you creating your own Facebook page or having a social media presence. So definitely go through them and find out what the parameters are. If you're a manager or an owner of a company and you're listening to this, I would highly encourage you to understand social media enough that you can coach your people to become ambassadors for your business through their own personal feeds. Because if I'm a customer and I'm going to go to a furniture store and I'm looking up different furniture stores and I read reviews and I keep seeing Eric Garcia's name pop up in the furniture store reviews, and they're like, this guy is awesome. When I go to your furniture store, guess who I'm going to see? I'm going to see Eric Garcia. And so the reason Eric Garcia is earning that kind of celebration is because of how he interfaces with them and how he delivers on the promise of great service and great product. And so if you're memorable, and in another part, personal branding wise, he's got that hat with Eric Garcia on it. He's got the shirt with all the logos, which right away tell me that he's proud of the feedback he gets from people. It reminds me of the Tempur-Pedic ad. Don't ask us, ask everyone else, right? They can tell you how great we are. And so that's what he's saying. I'm great, but ask everyone on these different properties why I'm great. And you can do that too. I don't know if you can wear a hat with your name on it in your store, but Wouldn't it be cool if 80%, 90% of the volume you're doing at a sleep shop or furniture store came because you're so good with other people, the reviews were there, and it was word of mouth, and that's how they find you? That should be the benchmark.
Making these improvements.
This really goes back to 23-year-old Hernani with the bad nickname, walking into his team and saying, and I think it's a great question you can ask as a leader right now of your team, hey, what can I do more of? What can I do less of right now, today? Because I think, if you get a small win under your belt like that, you can start to change culture, and this is this is why I think Sleep Train has always been just this shining light in our industry, and like reflecting on that Sleep Train culture that Dale and you and, Brian Baxter and the whole team created, was the fact that you had a culture that paid off your brand. And we talk about this a lot. It's like, oh, we got our mission, our vision, our values. Now let's get to our brand. Nope, skipped it. Mission, vision, values, culture, brand. Because if you don't have a culture that can pay off what you're trying to say with your marketing messages or with the brand you're trying to build in your community, then people are going to feel that disconnect when they come in your store. They're going to walk in and be like, wow, I really, these people position themselves as they have a heart for the community, but really they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Like that, your culture is going to screw up your brand. So if your culture, Dr. V told me one time, culture is what you create or what you tolerate. And sometimes whenever you go through these exercises, you realize, oh my gosh, I need to create and be intentional about the culture we want to build. And if you're not, it's simply just what you're tolerating today. And sometimes what you tolerate could be amazing. I'm not saying it's always bad, but gosh, whenever you really start to think about the organization, how people see it, are your people able to pay that off when a customer walks through the door and you have an interaction? If that doesn't happen, that's where everything falls apart.
100%. You're right on it. And what is culture? What does that truly mean? And it's going to be the values. So you've got your PVVs, they call it purpose. Why does the company exist? Then you get into your values. So we exist based on, this is how we're going to act. We're going to do these 3 to 5 things. I've seen some organizations, they're like, let me go get the SOP manual. I know it's in there. And they'll give it to me. It's like 3 pages of stuff that they have to go through. Values. Let's focus on the 80%. If we do these 5 key things, 3 to 5 things, this is what it is. And then what you do is you magnify that. So now when you give out awards, it's not always going to be the top rock star, the number one sales. And I can tell you, the number one salesperson sometimes could be your energy vampire. They're the ones that just bringing everybody down. Yeah, they got good sales. And I've seen, because I've lost some of these $1 million writers because they were unethical. They did something that wasn't right. We let them go. And you're like, we're going to miss out on that business? No. All of a sudden, the rest of the team just picked it up. It was crazy. We actually ended up doing more because we got rid of that energy vampire. So go back to values. If you got those 3 to 5, start handing out some awards to that. It could be your middle person, someone that's done a good job. They went above and beyond. They helped a certain customer externally, or they did somebody for internally, another customer. Give them an award. Because the more you start measuring and start bringing that middle average up, guess what happens? It keeps going up higher and higher. The more of a disconnect from your higher end to your lower end, you've got a big delta there. It becomes the dumbbell effect, right? So you really want to bring those middle up a few notches, and you'll see the things really start taking off in your organization.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in next week for part 2 of the Best of Dos Marcos from 2021.
Jam, bounce with it, bounce with it. Bounce with it, bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way that you could topple it. Hybrid on my wrist, that's a calculator watch. We add ourselves together and we take it up a notch.
Got the airflow, yo, keep you cool as it get. Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable, hybrid like a sweater vest.
You know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice
and I'm hot like a heater.
Bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night. Put 2 together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
Lay back, you don't have to practice. It's the best thing to happen to your mattress. Get together to do it like I did. Everybody get hybrid.
want somebody to get in your vicinity, you probably want to feel a little bit of a hybridity. Foam alone, out of 5, maybe 1 star. Springs and foam, we're taking care of that lumbar. Mad back support, the best way to shack up or just get rest that won't mess your back up. Like a hot chick mixed with a particle physicist or a mullet. Party in the back of the business. Best of both worlds like Mars and Venus. The ultimate hybrid. Nothing short of genius.
Keeping it loose while keeping it tight. We can make you sleep or play all night. Put 2 together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of a comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
No stopping when the beat gets played back. Springs keep it popping, foam keeps it laid back. Party over here, get invited. Everybody get hybrid.
Listen, doesn't matter if your kitchen is charming when your bedroom's the most important part of the apartment. What kind of bed do you keep back there? Does your girl want to chill on a beanbag chair? Hell no! You need springs and foam, cause if that bowling ball don't bounce, you'll be sleeping alone. And if the bed don't react, then you can't get low. We got the type of bounce that won't spill your Merlot.
So stick with us and you'll get rewarded.
Cause I'm so gentle and I'm so supportive.
Hybrid is where the magic is.
And we just killed a song about mattresses.